No, man. The arcs are long because everyone is having an individual fight, which I agree might not entirely be necessary all the time, but that's how you doing it. Like Nami doesn't need a fight, but we get a Nami fight. It's cool. Ladies and gentlemen, ducks included. Welcome back to Irbal Sinergy, the shop. Oh, don't forget the crickets. Don't forget the crickets. I'm your host, Sinji. With me, as always, the sound master, Irby.
Hello, it's me, everyone. The maestro.
How you doing, Herb?
I'm doing for this lovely day.
Is this lovely day treating you well?
It's trying.
It's succeeding, maybe?
Yeah, it's doing all right.
It's all right, cool.
Yeah,
Did the lovely day give you a flavor this week?
it did. The wrong way to use healing magic, and Boruto was good this week.
Boruto was good.
Yeah, the ending of the wrong way to use healing magic. I was like, oh snap, and then I was like, oh snap. The way it just played out, I was like, oh, well, that stinks, buddy. Gave it a good old try.
We're near the end of that show, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. And it's going to be replaced with Gojo's Bizarre Adventure.
You've already watched that.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have.
No, I just listened to it. There's a difference.
Nah, bro. You're trying to get me to watch it. You're not gonna force me to watch it.
I just listened to it.
You think you slick.
Baby.
You
Let's
think
go.
you are slick. What is that glowing thing? Whatever.
Yeah, I just listened to it. So.
Oh, man. My flavor is coming out of Solo Leveling Ragnarok Chapter 3. The end. My boy Beru to the fucking rescue. That's like 18 chapters out. It's hard, Irby. It is hard not to continue.
Hey, dog, you continue. We just do something else.
No, because if I read it on my own, then you gonna wait for the audio book to come out. I'm not sure there is one coming out, Irby.
That's all right with me.
It's not all right with me.
I just be chilling in the cut.
I need to force you to experience this.
Nah, dog. I don't want to take away from your enjoyment of the things.
I'm gonna enjoy it regardless. We're gonna catch up eventually. Probably not before the season ends. I don't know. I don't know if excuse me. I don't know if the person creating this sequel is gonna do like a weekly thing or a season thing.
Plot twist. This is just fan fiction.
It is. It basically is because the creator's actually dead.
Nah. I meant like this is just the fans are coming together and making the stuff. Not even sanctioned by the guy that he said live on his legacy.
I would be I wouldn't trust fans to continue anything.
I think I could continue it.
You think so?
Well, depending on the anime, I probably could continue it, but yeah, I wouldn't be too bad in it.
I think I could continue. All right. What popular anime do you think you can continue? Do not say One Piece ending it.
That's all.
Like legitimately, pick a popular anime that you think you can write the next arc, and it be like equally popular.
I probably could do yeah, I probably could do, let's see, maybe a JoJo's, might be able to do one of those, because they villains just be coming out of nowhere, so I could just do that. Do one of those. I probably could do. Yeah, I ain't seen My Hero yet, so don't know how that one would end. Um, but yeah, maybe Black Clover might be able to do.
I think I could do Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball's already been concluded though.
Like Super. I think I can.
I mean, that ain't too hard. Super would be hard. Uh, but yeah, probably could do those.
And what I mean about Dragon Ball is like I think I can make it in a way where like Goku becomes stronger than Black Frieza.
Yeah,
Because right now, Frieza's got hands on anybody that touches him.
yeah. But yeah, I definitely would do the One Piece arc and go ahead and wrap that thing on up.
It's wrapping up. Leave it alone.
I would wrap it up like a turkey sandwich at the deli.
Everything's coming to a conclusion right now. in One
Not
Piece.
quick enough.
I mean, Garp is. I'm pretty sure Garp is dead. I don't know if Kid. I don't think Law's dead. I don't know if Kid is dead. You don't actually see some of these people die, but like a lot of pieces are getting taken off the
Definitely
board.
Implied. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the pieces are taken off the board. It's the last chapter. No, the chapter before the last chapter, because we're going to Elbaf now, which is where Shanks is, I believe. The chapter before that mentioned like the race to the One Piece and showed like the contenders. So like we're getting there. The only thing I would say is this also might be the longest arc in like anime history, solely because, and I don't want to go too much deeper into this because One Piece and you don't get along, but like just me as an anime fan, I'm speculating this is going to be the longest arc in anime history because of all the conclusions that need to be dealt with. Like Akeuno needs to be dealt with, Blackbeard needs to be dealt with, either Luffy with Shanks needs to happen or Luffy versus Shanks needs to happen. Finding the One Piece needs to happen. The closure parts of the series need to happen. Solving any leftover mysteries need to happen, and that's all supposed to happen in the last big arc, which is if they don't treat Elbaf as a mini arc, that's it. We're there. I finished, by the way.
Oh, okay. I thought you was gonna go another One Piece soliloquy.
No, I said I wasn't gonna go too into it.
I wasn't listening. You started talking One Piece. I was like, eh. So, but yeah, that was your flavor. What's your flavor? You said.
Bravo to you, sir. Bravo. It was Barrow. Seeing Barrow again.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So, what you want to talk about first?
We could do Windbreaker, episode 2, The Hero of My Dreams. And I can get through this fairly quickly. So we start off the episode with Sakura carrying old lady to the restaurant, to Kotaha's restaurant, and when he put her down, she just jumped out, started walking like normal, and he was like flipping out. I was like, "You said your hips hurt," and she was like, "I can barely walk." So Kotaha, I forget what was the easier name for her, but she gave him a nice looking sandwich, and then a kid with blonde hair with a clumsy kid with blonde hair from the same uniform came in and introduced himself, and he's part of Foreign as well, but like he still had the tags on. He's like, "Oh man, that's embarrassing." Like he left the pet tag on his pants too. What was interesting is that like he is also starting. I think he's also starting school for the first time, but it seems Kota knows him, so maybe he's just been hanging out a lot. He obviously makes comments on his hair and his eyes, and like Sakura because he's like so used to criticism. And he's like he was on alert, and dude was just like, "Are you stressed out? Must be rough, even though you're so young." So you can already tell like he's gonna be like he's supposed to be like the comedic relief to the show, I suppose. And his name is Nire. I believe I said that right. Nire.
I don't know, dog.
So fast forward a little. Sakura makes his plans very clear that he plans to be on the top of Furin, and Nirin tells him like he can't do it, and then he goes off on his own out, and then like after a brief conversation with Kotaha, like finds out that like he doesn't like people like Nero because like people who dress like that are usually like the most cowards. Like they don't fight back; they'd rather run. And a little time passed, and some Sakura ended up going on his way to school, and everyone he passed by was giving him free stuff for like how he helped out the other day during that event, which I believe was yesterday. And then the girl, I guess she recognized Sakura and told him like, you need to help, come quick. And like we see Nire is getting jumped by a group of guys because like they were hitting on her and like she wasn't interested, and he wanted to step in. So even though he couldn't fight, like he was holding on to them, and like he was just like I don't really know, like I guess his belief in what Boforin stands for is what was driving him to even hold on to the dude. But like they were like really confused, but like eventually they were like, all right, if you want to fight, I'll oblige. So they started welling him, and then when he was about to do the, I think it's called a specific move, right? When you put your hands together, lift them up, and like slam down. Isn't there like a name for that?
Yeah, hammer fist. I don't know. A club, two-handed thing.
Maybe like a double hammer fist because it's both hands. I think you're right. I think in UFC they call it like a hammer fist when like you're on the ground and you're just wailing away at your opponent's head. But like, so right before he did the like, we'll call it double hammer fist, Sakura came with a flying dynamic entry, if you will. No applause, no laughter, no nothing. I understand. I'll carry on. I wanted something. And Nero was surprised, and they're like, "I'm not here to save you. I just hate when like weak people think they're tough." So like literally in an instant, because the scene went over and they were all on the ground, he took them all out, and Nero thanked him and apologized for what he said, and they ended up going to school together. Sakura said like, "You're not as lame as I thought," and like the girl thanked him for getting in the middle of that situation, and she also thanked Sakura, which made him blush. He's still not used to like people treating him nice, so he can't handle compliments. Nero became obsessed once he knew he could fight. Became obsessed with getting information. Like wrote his stuff and his info in a book, and Sakura had to give him a whack on the head to like calm him down. So they ended up going to school, and when they got there, Nero was like bracing Sakura for like a weird atmosphere because he's an outsider, and apparently there's someone in her class that like is going to be a problem. But as soon as he opened the door, like Sakura was prepared for a fight. As soon as he opened the door, everyone looked at him, and then the one guy who approached him like called him out on being the guy that helped with the event yesterday and like being the main guy that like held him off. And it was pretty chill. It was chill vibe. Everyone was just kind of like, "Oh, cool, awesome!" Like, yeah, that's him. That's him. Cool. And then another dude showed up towards the end, and that's when it was gonna happen. So like immediately he went to attack Sakura. I think Sakura got Nire out the way. You don't really see what happens, but like Nire ended up on like a different side, and the guy's name was Kyutaro, something like that. Kyotaro. And he went and attacked Sakura. Sakura dodged very easily. And he said, Sakura was like, this is what I expected from Furin. So next episode, we're going to see a fight. We're going to see what appears to start, like, it's going to start the hierarchy fighting. You know what I mean? Like, I'd imagine that type of school probably has a hierarchy system.
Pretty much everywhere has a hierarchy system. Yeah, it's somewhere. But yeah, all right. I guess on to the wrong way to use the magic of the healing.
Yeah, you use that healing magic.
Yeah, season 1, episode 10, Unhinged. The Black Knight appears and causes all the fears. Yeah. So, like, my boy Usuto, he can't sleep. He got the pre-war jitters. Can't say I ever had those. But he's out walking. Why. Yeah, he's out walking. Runs into Inokami. And she starts talking about her new armor. And she's like, yeah, it's so flexible and light and the joints and blah, blah, da-da-ba-ba-da.
Yeah, that's like, what she said.
Yeah, a whole bunch of different stuff. She's just real excited about her armor. And somehow they get talking about a prickly cactus, and then it turns into a metaphor. And I was like, what? That's weird. She's like, yeah, you're all prickly, da-da-da. So, yeah, and then his friend comes in and saves him. His friend Kazuki. Because he's like, oh, Kazuki, save me. Because she ended up wanting to hug Usato or something. But it ended up turning into like a diversion or a divergent neural pathway thing, because she was trying to calm herself down from the battle ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And so the cuddly cactus thing. So, yeah, and then they start talking about the battle, making preparations, and they talk about the old life, and Kazuki's like, wow, you've really changed. You're not taking risks like you did in the old life, and this, that, and the other. She's like, yeah, I have. So, yeah, I thought it was good they would talk about the old lives. So, some battle starts, they go their ways, some people are hurt. The one guy's like, oh, there's a snake. And Uso's like, a snake? Because after the people got hurt and they brought it back, that's when they started gathering more information. And I was like, oh, a snake, you say? And he flashes back to the snake that he fought before that almost killed him. So, and that was with his healing magic. Imagine if you didn't have healing magic fighting the snake. You don't have to imagine, because they show them fight the snake. Yeah, so...
Touche.
Yeah, the battlefield. I thought this was a flavor of the week here, too. When the soldier... He's like, oh, the Black Knight shows up. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to get him. And they're fighting. And he stabs him in the back. I was like, oh, he got him. I was like, oh. But I was like, oh, he's not even hurt. So I was like, there's nothing to him. And then the guy just goes down. He's like, how did you... And the guy's almost on the verge of dying. He's like, I gotta stay alive to tell them. And this is when we get the stink bombs that got thrown. It was like, pew, pew. I was like, oh, what's that up right there? And the rescue squad comes in. They call them, the demons call them the kidnappers, which I think is a funny term. The kidnappers come in and take away your prey before they get them. The Black Knight was real excited about it. He's like, oh, this is what you call the kidnappers. Oh, finally something worthy here. I was like, huh.
Do you get like a kid vibe from the Black Knight?
I feel like he is someone that wants to always test the abilities, and I feel like since he's of a higher caliber, stuff rarely gets him excited. So if it's something where he's like, oh, that's interesting news, like how do I defeat this when I run across this? He's like, I got to figure this one out. So I feel like that's his thing. So he couldn't wait to get in front of the kidnappers.
I feel like he's someone that obviously I feel like Usato is going to be the one to beat him because he's the main character. But I feel like the Black Knight is someone that's going to very easily be taken care of when someone finds a way to get around his reflecting ability.
Yeah. So, you talk too much. You went all ahead. Could I had a whole build up for that?
I can edit it out if you like.
No, you can't. You can't.
I can.
It just ruins everything.
I can very easily edit it out.
But yeah, so we're going to continue on this crescendo that got interrupted. So stabs the soldier in the back. It's like he doesn't even feel it. And I didn't see this part, but I was like, oh, my man stabbed himself through to kill the guy. I was like, oh man. It's like, that's wild. Yeah, rescue team saved the guy. And now they're in the tent. Uso's saving folks. He's like, oh, now's my time to shine. After Rose like, let's go, Usato. It's our turn now. And so Rose and Usato start talking. She's like, hey, yeah, there's a black soldier, a soldier in black armor with terrifying magic that's on the battlefield now. And all of a sudden, Uso's like, oh, my chest aches. He's getting an anxiety attack. Didn't take his Zoloft this morning. So, yeah, she then proceeds to ask him, she's like, hey, are you going to avoid killing out here? And he's like, oh, Rhodes, it's not in me. I'm going to tell you what, though. If I need to kill to survive, I'm going to have to do it out there.
Yeah, you got to.
One of the few times where you're not going to go to prison for killing, I got to catch me at least one body. So
I don't know if your reasonings are where they should be, but you're not wrong. Your logic is not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, that's why most people do sports, because you can legally hurt someone without facing the ramifications.
That's why people join the army.
Yeah, those people, that they join for a little bit more nefarious reasons. They looking for the hurt. In some cases they just want to protect the country. In other cases, they need a way to make it out of their current circumstances.
Yeah, there's multiple reasons.
Yeah,
but there are people who purely join it for the pleasure of
the
things that get done.
Yeah, so she then proceeds to tell him about a super secret technique to defeat them if it comes down to that. And I'm like, oh, you just gonna say the technique, but you're not gonna fill us in? Like, that's what they got. I hate. They're like, oh yeah, you gotta do this. Like, yeah, we want to know the secret too. And don't tell us the secret if you ain't gonna let us in on it or even allude to the secret. So, yeah, super secret technique to discuss, and they're discussing their tactics and whatnot. She's like, you go to left flank, I go to right flank, and they split up. Usato saves a man, pulls him up, leaves, starts healing him while running. And then Rose, she goes to her side and she snatches up two people, steps on the demon's face, jumps in the air, runs away. I'm like, yeah, she's bad. She's a bad memo. Yeah, so heals him on running. And we get to Inukami's fight. She's looking. I think the war is affecting her because she's kind of like, oh man, I really electrocuted these folks, but I didn't want to have to do it. But she's looking like, poor people, poor demons. Which I feel like a whole lot of stuff could just be resolved if people would just talk normally, talk things out. But the demons do not want to do that. So,
Little sympathy for the enemy. No room no room for that in war.
I mean, there's always room for sympathies. Maybe if people were more sympathetic, wouldn't even had this war. But alas, we're here. Yeah, so then they meet up with the demon commander's like, oh, I finally found you, because earlier in the show, he had seen the electricity over there. He's like, oh, that's neat. I'm going to go check this out. And so some soldiers run at him, and they stick their swords through them. And I'm like, oh, man. Wow. He just looks like unfazed. And they're like, oh, this was easy. And she's like, no, don't. She was like, no, don't run. Don't do it. Don't stab him. And this is when he repels them and like disembowels them. I was like, ooh, man, ouch. Got the guts everywhere. Intestines. And so Inokami and Kazuki is there. Kazuki, she's getting ready to shoot a light beam at him. And Inokami's like, no, don't shoot it. And it hits the guy on the shoulder. And then the Black Knight's like, reflect. And now Kazuki's shoulder leaking. And I was like, ooh. He's like, he got under his armor and everything. And I was like, ooh, that's rough. Tough. This is when they figure out that the black armor reflects all attacks. And we can't just go doing magical attacks. Because it's going to come back and get us. Because the armor is uniquely crafted. And then we flash back to Uzuto, and he's freaking out about the disasters coming and seeing their blood everywhere. He's like, ah. And he almost gets sliced up. And he's like, why won't this heal? He's trying to heal his head. I'm like, come on, bro. I don't think your healing works with psychological wounds. Like,
you know, ironically, I thought the girl was going to be the one to like recklessly charge at the Black Knight, and the guy who was initially very worried was going to be the more cautious one, thinking about and analyzing the situation.
Well, I think Inokami's played enough games to know that kind of looked like an attack that was like, oh, that's not a normal attack. The way it repelled him and sliced him up where they sliced him. They got sliced where they sliced him. But I feel like Inokami, not Kazuki, he's trying to switch from being so cautious, and you had seen the change in previous episodes when he just started like jumping head first into things because he didn't want to be scared. And I feel like him jumping head first into stuff takes away his time to be scared, and he turns into a read and react kind of person. So, but yeah, she's played enough where she realized, like, hey, we got to really think about this one here.
She plays RPGs.
Yeah, she's like, this just ain't no run of the mill guy over here. She's like, we got to pay attention.
So something strange happened. What are you doing?
Yeah. So she's like, oh yeah. She tells him reflect stuff. So we got to find out the way past the armor. And she's like, oh, I wonder if I could. We're gonna try something. She's like, calls a dust storm, and so she called a dust storm, and he made a slash, and she made a slash. She actually made two, and only one spot hurt, but the spot on his back that she slashed that didn't heal up. And so I was like, oh, okay, maybe she's like, maybe it's something, he can't be seen, he can't dodge it. She's like, I want to try something. So she proceeds to power up her legs. She's flowing like electricity, not being seen. just zap, zap, zap everywhere. And she comes in and she gets a stab. She stabs him in the throat from behind. And she's now that I've taken away his ability to say reflect, you should be good to go. And she's like, Kazuki, come on in. And he's like, oh, you think just because I couldn't see you doesn't mean that I can't reflect it? Because he set it up. He was like gurgling blood. He's like, ugh. And he was like kidding. And then he did it. I was like, oh, you got me good because I thought you were dead.
Now,
I thought they bypassed their stuff.
I didn't think so, but what I did think recently was like, if his abilities reflect and he does it at will, then like he's legitimately like just eating these attacks. Like it just doesn't seem like it's actually hurting him, but like it is doing. He has to feel it before he reflects it. So like I'm wondering what's the way to actually, like, we're gonna see, but like what's the way to actually take him down if he doesn't feel sufficient pain to make him like react.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll find out. But his whole deal, he's like, yeah. He's like, I let you think that I couldn't deflect an attack if I couldn't see it, and this, that, and the other. And like, yeah, I can do it. I was like, I don't even need to speak the words. Like, I got it. And I was like, oh man, he really set them up. So she starts leaking from the mouth. Kazuki's like ran through, and I'm like, oh man, he's dead.
You know what? I like him. The Black Knight. That's a real savage shit to do. It make people believe you have all these conditions to activate in this skill that's gonna work regardless, no matter what someone tries. Like, if someone thought he needed to say reflect, like made it so that he couldn't speak, and then like attacked him, with a fatal blow, thinking, yeah, this got him, and it's just like, psych.
Yeah, yeah, it was. Yeah, it reminds me of this audio series I was listening to where this guy, they were doing a boxing match. They call it black and white boxing. It's military school, crazy stuff. But like, every time he threw this one punch, he would like smile a little bit. So the guy was like, "Oh, that's his tell that he's gonna do this attack." And so when the guy gets up there, he didn't smile, but do the same attack. And then the next time he smiled a little bit and threw the same attack, and it messed the guy all up. So it's like a little psychological warfare, which was a nice touch.
Yeah, create. A lot of people don't study their opponents too often. So like, if you notice, you have an observing guy. Like people are creatures of habit, right? So like, more often than not, like a fighter is gonna like have a combo they lean towards and things like that. Like counter fighting has to be the most I feel like rewarding style of fighting. If you can do your research, if you're like able to do your research on your opponent and like study them and like put them in situations they're comfortable, so you can set up your big hit. Because like people are like creatures of habit. It's rare when people get comfortable, they fall into like routine. So like they'll do something that they normally do.
It's not me, baby.
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen you fight, so
I know. But yeah, it's I was like, oh man, that's big brain. Got him. So I was like, yeah, we'll see. I think Kazuki is going to be close enough where he can heal them.
Yeah, it was big brain. It was a little premature on her part to just assume like she didn't have enough information to actually conclude that was it. They did a shallow test where they didn't cut too deep so they can test it out, and then like she went in for she should have tested it out a couple more times.
But it probably would have still yielded the same result.
Maybe
because that guy was playing games anyway, so he was going to let her think that like, oh, it was this and that, and he probably would have caught on that, oh, she's cutting deep, she's trying to see, she's coming deep from my not deep from my blind spot. So it's like, huh, maybe I'll let her keep thinking she's got me on my blind spot, and then I'll just slice her up when she gets there. I think they did that the opposite of One Piece. You know, you don't need to do it for a long time. You just got to get in there. If it's good, it's good. You know, do it real quick, and that's what they did, which I'm very appreciative of.
Opposite of One Piece. Fuck. Just had to throw that in there, huh?
I mean, you don't need to test like 23 episodes of shallow cuts. She did the couple tests. She
Who
messed around with
tested
that.
23 episodes of shallow cuts?
Yeah, I mean that's essentially what One Piece is.
No, man. The arcs are long because everyone is having an individual fight, which I agree might not entirely be necessary all the time, but that's how you're doing it. Like Nami doesn't need a fight, but we get a Nami fight. It's cool. She's an outer. She needs to be stealing some shit. Just do a small scene of her like trying to steal some treasure, coming across some scrubs, and like she with her climate tat just takes them out.
Yeah, some. I mean, shoot. Yeah, I hear just spending 8 episodes stuck between a building. But your
Like two, thank you.
episode of learning hockey was done in the time skip when you could have showed the whole progress of that. That would have been cool.
Showing his like progress of learning hockey.
Yeah, that would have been all right.
We get scenes here and there. It's just
Yeah, that probably would better than what they've been doing. Cause my man just be showing up with new powers. I'm trying to think. Yeah,
but everything other than Gear 5 stemmed from the 2-year training.
they was in jail for 2 arcs trying to get Ace out. It took 9
It was in
episodes for
jail
Ace.
for one arc. Thank you.
It took 9 episodes for Ace to die. I think having a hole in his chest.
It took one episode.
He did like 9 soliloquies like Luffy. Oh, yeah, Luffy. Yeah, some stuff there. But yeah, let's go on to the solo leveling. They might just need to let this one go too. If I had enough.
What, Solo?
Yeah.
You didn't enjoy
you know-
the 2 chapters?
No, that was all right, but I just I hate to see when things like overstay their welcome. So, just gotta.
You don't think it's you don't consider, even though it's like the
no,
sun,
it's-
it's not refreshing to you?
I mean, it's still like the same thing to me. But I'd rather do this than One Piece, though.
Well,
I
yeah,
just
it's a
hate
lot
to-
shorter. If it was as long as
just
One Piece,
hate-
I think you'd have the similar.
I hate to see it become a One Piece. Is what I'm saying.
Now, obviously, if you combine all of Dragon Ball and like all of Naruto shit, and like it doesn't compare to how much content One Piece has out there. But does that like fall under like overstaying welcome to you, like from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z, and then you have like 2 different iterations of Dragon Ball Z. You have Dragon Ball Z Kai. There was another one, I believe.
I think Kai is just like I feel like it all came down to like different censorship and dubs, but I feel like they was pretty much all the same.
Yeah, and then like so you did Dragon Ball GT, which was like a separate thing, which people like to treat it as like everyone acknowledges it's not canon, but then like to compare it to like the canon shit, like oh Super Saiyan 4 or Super Saiyan God, and like the one thing I don't like about Dragon Ball is that too many things are competing with Super Saiyan God. This is supposed to be a transformation that uses God Key. God Key is supposed to be this key that no one can sense unless you have God Key. So Beerus, Whis, and anyone on that level. Therefore, why is someone like Beast Mode Gohan beating God Key Goku? God Ki using Goku. You're not supposed to be able to compete with someone who uses God Ki.
I mean,
These are
Gohan, he
the
that the
these.
same animal but different beast, baby.
Listen, I'm just saying, like these are like parameters they put around these transformations, and then like lo and behold, you want to continue the story, you need another villain. All right, well, shit. Now everyone needs to be able to compete with Super Saiyan God. Let's make Super Saiyan Blue. Uh,
But I would say that maybe it's not the ultimate form of God, or he might not have a good grasp. Like he understands it, but it's like, let's say it's like only like 33% fully completed. Because I feel like anytime he fights Beerus in like that God mode, Beerus still wipes the floor with him. So I wouldn't even say he's on par with a God yet.
oh no, not at all. Because I forget what chapter. But I think they said that like Goku barely scratched the surface um of Ultra Instinct.
And that's why Beast Mode Gohan be whooping his tail.
But it's the what do I want to say? It's the principle of like this is this mode that some gods can't even tap into. That's how rare it is, and that's how OP and plot protected Goku is.
Yeah.
Regular gods can't enter this mode at will. And here Goku is entering at will. At will. It's the domain of angels. It's an angel thing, which angels, I believe, are held higher than gods. And that's the realm Goku is stepping in. Yet Gohan whooped his ass simply by pushing his rage to the limit just before he loses control.
I mean, same principle as Broly.
And he got a whole new form out of it. Like it would have been. That's another thing. Like if he's doing something similar to what Broly's doing without going berserk, why doesn't his transformation look similar to Broly's?
Maybe he put it in his hair. He just chose to put it in his hair. I don't know.
It's too many. We're getting way too many different transformations, too many versions of these transformations.
But you also could look at it this way, because different people have different physiological body stuff. So like, what may be for one person ain't gonna be for another. That's why like, instead of Super Saiyan 2, you just had Super Vegeta, which was like Vegeta's Super Saiyan 2, and Goku had his Super Saiyan 2. So it's like different transformations work for different folks.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't. And who knows? Maybe Beast Mode Gohan is actually, you could say, Beerus Destruction, God of Destruction mode with the rage.
But there's
the
also
equivalent of that, so.
there's also no explanation on how Vegeta learned Super Saiyan God in the first place, because in the movie, it needed to be 5 Saiyans sharing energy with one, and Vegeta refused to do it the same way Goku did. But that was the way it needed to be done. So how did he get it?
He concentrated enough.
Just stop. You stop right there.
Yeah, I mean, or it could be one of those things where like he might have got hit by God Ki, and then he's like, oh, that's what it felt like, and then so he tried to harness the feeling until he got the God Ki.
I don't know.
Yeah, the world may never know.
It's like
But
I don't even know if like, because if you notice like Goku's hair when he's in God form and Vegeta's hair, it's not the Super Saiyan hair. It's like normal hair but red. So maybe it's not even a Super Saiyan form. Maybe it's just God mode, and Super Saiyan Blue is actually Super Saiyan 1 in God mode. You know what I mean?
could be that. Yeah. I think one does better. I think the red does better with stamina, and blue does better with power.
Yeah, I think that, and that's why I think red is like base mode God key, because like it does better with stamina. You're not using much stamina because you're just you're utilizing your God key, but the hair is not up, so you're not technically a Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
It would make sense because
Blue.
it would
Yeah.
make
Blue
sense
hair
if
comes
the
up.
what do you get when you mix
Purple.
no, red and yellow, orange, right?
Yeah.
I feel like they could have done like orange instead of blue, and that would have made more sense to me, but I think blue looks more appealing.
Yeah. I do like the blue.
Yeah, the blue looks cool, especially in. I hope in the game in Sparking Zero that you'll be able to do the Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken.
Yeah.
It'll probably be a ultimate move or something.
The next one, evolution, they're gonna have purple hair.
But
Almost
Vegeta already
black.
has that in Ultra Ego.
Nah, I thought it was a little darker colored hair.
Maybe violet or something like that.
And yeah,
But isn't violet just a shade of purple?
it is. But I don't remember his hair was purple though.
Well, I think that's just fan theory because like the thing comes in black and white. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I'm not sure who came up with purple.
Yeah, we'll see when they start redoing this thing, redoing it, doing it well.
So do you think we're to the point where Dragon Ball might be overstaying its welcome?
I mean, if they stop and then they give it a break for like 2-3 years, and they're like, hey guys, guess what? We'll come back with Super. I'd be like, oh man, it was refreshing to have a 2-year hiatus and not show up every week with some silly plots and whatnot.
I understand that. I actually completely wholeheartedly understand that. But like, just imagine if like One Piece took breaks. How long do you think it would take to finish?
Which is why you don't need all them gosh darn episodes.
Again, I think it was really just carried about like he would have ended it, but it was so popular that he just kept going.
Should have went with his instincts.
Some people are good with it. A lot of people don't like it. A lot more people are okay with it.
Should have ended it when Ace became a shish kebab.
Nah, it's too soon to end it.
Nah.
I did at some point. It was like second half of the grand. What second half? What are you talking about?
He just made that up because there's no alluding to any of that.
I thought the second half was the grand line.
Yeah, there's no allude to any of that previously. Then it's like, oh yeah, the second half.
What do we talk about? New World. I thought the grand line was the New World.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Let's get back to Solo Leveling Ragnarok. That hasn't overstayed its welcome yet. Chapter 2 and 3. So we're gonna start off with Chapter 2, and shit, what's his name? Suho
Sung.
That's how you know, like, I'm not entirely invested in this yet, because I don't even know the kid's name. I just keep thinking Jinu. But, so, Suho, after awakening his powers a little bit, was recalling the moments of, like, where Jinu was testing his ability, and, like, he was really just considering it self-reflection on how strong his dad is. So he went in and attacked, and he found himself in a situation where, like, all right, he fucked up, this isn't working. And then that's when, like, oh, you have met the requirements to complete the secret quest, Courage of the Week. Do you accept? And he's like, oh, this is just like that dream, so like it should work out the same way. So he says accept, and it gives him like a lot of the same abilities Jinyu had when he awakened and got the powers, like the blessing of the great spellcaster, Kandero's blessing. So like he will always be strong and healthy during his lifetime. He's got the longevity effect, so no diseases or poisons work against him. And it was kind. I thought it was funny that the system told him like, "Hey, this is not a dream. So you only have one life. Don't be too careless with it."
I think that was something that Jinnu put in there
They properly put it in there.
because he didn't like how he's being reckless before fighting him.
Yeah, so
That's why he sealed his powers. 'Cause, oh, you're a little too reckless.
it was probably
you
a just in case thing. Because, like,
Stop
yeah,
using your
he
powers.
didn't want him to jump in there recklessly. So that's when it starts. Also, of course, he heals tremendously, exponentially when he's resting. And that's when they give him the quest, defeat Miss Burns, and he starts seeing the titles on them. It's like Unawakened Miss Burn, Unawakened Miss Burn, D rank Awakened Miss Burn. And he deals with the unawakened ones fairly easily. But then when it comes to he also like leveled up. So like he tried to take on the D rank one, but it overpowered him very easily. So then he used his abilities put everything into strength, very similar to what Jinyu did when he first was leveling up and getting ability points. Just putting everything into strength. He then found out how effective the longevity perk is because he got scratched, but like he didn't transform. And the D rank Mistburn was still overpowering him. So he decided it was, after a little struggling and like realizing he can't take it on, like he accepted a award for completing the quest and like put the extra points he had into strength, and he powered through and defeated the D rank Mistburn, leveled up 3 times, and that's when the C rank Mistburn just jumped through the glass and went after him. So with that being said, we go on to the next chapter, and now the C rank Mistburn was giving him a lot more trouble that he can handle. And even after he put all points into strength, it was still way too much for him. So he decided he had to make a break for it. What I liked that whoever's writing this did was, when the C rank Mistburn noticed that Suho was running away and saw some girls who were freaked out on the roof, it went up and attacked them. And Suho knew like he needed to go up there. But I liked that they weren't afraid to kill off the woman. Like they didn't just like, oh, he saved the day. No, like he realized he couldn't leave it alone after it killed him. So like, I appreciated that. I feel like people are like afraid to do that sometimes, and just like, oh, he saved them. Like, no, you can't save everyone, and he's weaker than this C rank Mistburn. So he decided he needed to fight the thing and like hold it off as much as possible. And like he was kind of doing all right, but like the rank difference really overwhelmed him, and the beast sent him into a wall and like left him with 1 HP left. And right before it finished him off, you saw some cracks in the dimension, the wall, the fourth wall, or whatever you want to call that. And like right before the Mistburn, C rank Mistburn attacked Suho, you saw his fatigue was 99. He was about to pass out, and that's when my boy Beru burst out of the shadow dimension and not only saved Suho, but like he blamed himself. He was like, no, all because I was too late. So he healed Suho real quick, finished off the C rank Mistburn, and killed every Mistburn in the area with his very quickly and with his rage for like not saving the young master soon enough. And once he wrapped up, he went back to Suho's side and said, "It's been something along the lines of it has been a while, young monarch." So
See, that's not how mine went though.
we're reading on different things, so the translation is different.
It was all that he just gave through, just was slashing all the monsters, and it got to him. He was like, "Oh, it's been a while since I've greeted you, young monarch." And I was like, "Oh," because I was like, "Yeah." He just fly through none of that stuff. I was like, "All right, I guess so."
Yeah, so it's all depending on like I think every different site has their own different translator, so that's you're gonna get some translation differences. With that being said, really happy Beru's the one that popped out. I would have been happy to see Egress as well. Those are my two favorite shadows. Tank is cool. I like Tank. But Egress and Beru, and maybe even what was the one, the hunter that got turned into the shadow with the shield.
I forget his name.
I forget his name too. It's alright. I plan on re-listening to the
Tank or something.
No, Tank is the bear. Oh man, it's gonna bother me, but it's fine. I'm curious to see how Beru managed to break out, considering he isn't the strongest shadow soldier. I'm curious to see if he knows about what's going on with Jinnu and Heian, and I'm curious to see if Beru is now stuck outside because Suho hasn't actually awakened his monarch powers completely with the access to the shadow world, or will Beru be able to teach Suho how to use that part of his powers so that he can hide, because right now he's going to be an oversized ant everywhere he goes if he can't go back to the shadows.
Yeah, I mean, Jinnu, he had assigned him to Barrow to him anyway, so it was like
no, but like in the bonus chapters where we left off, when he was a baby, they weren't sealed, but like Suho's memories were sealed and his powers were sealed. So like with Jinnu being gone and Suho not really having access to his powers, the Shadow Army, I imagine, have been in that shadow dimension this whole entire time. And I just don't know how Beru came out by himself, because you saw he broke like a dimensional wall.
I think that was just probably more so to illustrate that Suho, he became awakened and he was able to actually use powers.
We'll see next two chapters.
Yeah, maybe we'll see.
You got anything else you want to talk about? Boruto.
Yeah, and Jujutsu, forgot all about that.
Let's save Jujutsu for...
What? That was some good stuff in Jujutsu.
I mean, it was, but like...
But yeah.
We got a little sidetracked. This episode's being...
You got a little sidetracked.
What are you talking about? You helped. It takes two people to have a conversation, Herb.
It was a conversation. I just was listening.
That's what I have to say to that.
Yeah, I just was listening. I was like, God, Lee, this man, stay talking about some One Piece.
You brought it up again.
Be you, dog. But Boruto, Two Blue Vortex, Chapter 1, Pre-Science. So Mamoshi, he informs Jura that Matsuri found out that Boruto has an accomplice, which is why he knows so much about the thorns and the bulbs and how to revert people back to their state. So they retreat for the time being. And then we get into a flashback. And in this flashback, Boruto looks like Madara. And he kind of looks like Nagato. I was like, why my man looking like that? The eye covered. So I was like, yeah, it definitely looks like Madara.
I thought he looked like Sasuke.
It's just because Madara, when he got older, had the white hair. And since it's in black and white, even though it's blonde, it just looks white. But yeah, he did look similar to Sasuke. Sasuke looks like Madara. So I wasn't actually that far off base. So
You were not.
yeah, and so we get to where he's in the wilderness somewhere. And he's like, dang. That's because there's 20-some shinobis out there looking for him. And this toad comes to talk, and he's like, hey, you're trapped. Like, how would you like to get out of this predicament? Tell me this, tell me that, and the other, and we can get you on up out of here. And he's just like, oh, fine, get me out of here. And he's like, yeah. He touches the back and does summoning jutsu, and he gets out of there. I'm like, oh, okay. And it turns out the little toad he was talking to was a scientific ninja tool, and he's talking to Kashin Koji. Rise clone, I think. I'm not
Yes.
sure.
Well, he was based off Jiraiya. I forget exactly how he came to be.
Yeah. So, yeah, they get to talking, and he talks about the omnipotence. He's like, hey, have you always been Boruto Uzumaki? He's like, what? What are you talking about? It's like, yeah, I've been him, but he's like, oh, that's all verification I need because the omnipotence. And this is the cool part that they get talking about because he's like, yeah, I'm not as affected by it because I saw it coming. So like I knew this was going to happen. He's like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? And so then we get the story of how when he was fighting Jigen while he waited death. Well, let me back up a little bit because he talks about how the other people, they all end up with abilities from the one guy, Shabaya Otsutsuki. And let's see. Yeah, you're not even listening. So
I'm listening though.
yeah.
I'm just on mute, so you don't hear.
You weren't on mute.
No, I'm on mute on the recording.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I heard everything. I was like, oh man, I ain't listening to me.
No, go ahead. I'm listening.
You not.
I am. I promise.
Yeah. So, yeah. But as he lay dying, he saw future reality. So that's how he got his ability. And he's like, you know about Shin? He has all the god abilities and Code's claw marks and ability and Damon's reflect and Ada's abilities. All this stuff from him and his Shinjutsu. But yeah, he got his ability for being in a near-death state, and he could see all possible futures, which would be a handy possibility. And they converse some more, and Boruto's like, what good is it seeing, like, all futures? And he's like, oh, intel. Like, she's like, I helped you out today, and he didn't say I helped you out today, but he's like, I could make sure you never get trapped again. And I was like, oh, that's nice.
That would be nice.
Yeah. So, yeah. Keep you from being cornered. And he could tell him future jutsu that he'll develop and how to save Sasuke. And I do like how there's no time paradox with his ability. So him telling you future stuff doesn't interact with stuff now. So that's a nice touch.
Yeah, he addressed the potential issue.
Yeah. Because you're going to learn it, but it's like, when are you going to learn it type deal? You never know. So, yeah, he's like, but before we go, I want to tell you about the very worst feature. The Ten-Tailed breaks free and evolves in a new way and turn to multiple divine tree people, which It's already happening. And Jura's the leader. And he's like, Jura's gonna kill you eventually unless we change the future. And he's like, even now that we're talking, it's been changing. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. And Boruto's like, let me stop you there, old man. Like, I don't want a future where I'll have to end up killing Kawaki. I'm like, man, you better get that man
Better off
hemmed
him.
up. Yeah. Stop playing with him. And so he's like, I just want to knock some sense into my little bro. And I'm like, and storm my house. I'm like, come on, man. You might have to kill him. I wouldn't even be mad if he killed Kawaki or you had to kill him.
I honestly don't really care about Kawaki.
Because I feel like it would end up like how the first Hokage had to kill allegedly killed Madara
Mm-hmm.
because he ended up surviving after the fact. So it'd be nice if he killed him. And then we get to Boruto and all of them, and Himawari healed Sarada. I was like, oh, let me see, because he was hurt. She was like, I was like, oh yeah, she's real adept with that chakra passing. And then we get to Boruto and they handcuff my boy. He's like, they're like, yeah, heal Boruto next. She's like, oh no, don't heal Boruto next. There's something we got to do first. And he's like, I'm not saying you can't heal him, but let's clamp him in these handcuffs, anti-jutsu handcuffs. And then Kawaki squashes the bug, the toad. I'm like, why you destroyed the toad? Which I feel like he should be able to enter in with the other toads. Like I don't understand why he doesn't have real ones.
Because maybe he doesn't have the actual contract with Toads. But if he has Jiraiya's DNA, he might be able to use it. I don't know.
Yeah, but I guess Naruto, he had the scroll, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you sign and you submit the contract. So
Yeah, as far as we know, Naruto's the only one with the scroll right now, and Naruto's trapped.
yes, that might be it. So I don't know, but yeah, crush the frog, and then they're about to harvest a new bulb, and they're like, "Oh, who should we call you? What should we call you?" I'm like, "Who's in the bulb? I needs to see."
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, they cuff my boy up like he's some prisoner. We just saved them all. I'm like, y'all good for nothing, flea bags.
I do think capturing Boruto was probably bad for Kawaki. Like, I don't think he really thought this through because they alluded to possibly going in his mind and seeing what he knows. Well, they're gonna see what he believes the current correct events of the world are.
Yeah, I mean that could be a whole double-edged sword. But they're gonna be like, why is his memories like this? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what happened here? And they're like, oh, they must be like my mind. They'll come up with something like, oh yeah, my mind jutsu must not be working correctly. Something
Something like
crazy.
I think
Yeah,
Kawaki's gonna try to kill him and like someone's gonna catch him and Shikamaru is gonna be nearby.
yeah. Or Ida's gonna be like, hey, uh, you got to stop Kawaki. He's trying to kill Boruto.
Yeah. Sarah will probably be around. Shikamaru will be around.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's so we're a little pressed for time. Let's save Jujutsu. Let's do the 2 chapters next week if you don't mind.
No, I do mind. I always minded.
I apologize, but you might have to close out this episode by yourself if you want to talk about
I would. I'm gonna close out by myself, baby. Yeah, one man show over here. Ow.
it. Besides Jujutsu, do you have anything else you want to...
No, I was enjoying a couple shows this week. Um, yeah, there was the Remonster. That was a good show.
I'm going to
Watching
watch
that,
that.
it's it's interesting. He comes back as a goblin and typical like breaks the mold and whatnot. But yeah, my boy, he be out there slanging. So I was like, dang, okay. Yeah, watch Slime, got to the Lightspeed Hero. I
Nice.
was like, okay, yeah, yeah, Slime. That's it. watch some My Hero. Not I didn't finish it, but I just watched the one where Deku finally showed up. Got to that. And I was like, all right. Can't wait.
It's approaching the end.
It is. When they're gonna call it all for nothing. Yeah.
Anything else?
No, that's it. Since you got to get on out of here and whatnot.
We'll be able to, hopefully next chapter 222 is also hype, so there'll be 2 great episode chapters to talk about.
Might be. We'll
All right.
never know.
Guys, that's gonna do it for this episode. Sorry couldn't get to Jujutsu.
You're not sorry.
The One Piece talk ran on a little bit too long.
You're not sorry. You would talk about it if you really were sorry, but you're not. Don't lie to the folks.
Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share us, and we'll catch you next week. Peace.
Peace.